Let's talk about the Los Angeles Chargers. This team is looking for a brand new head coach and a brand new general manager. And we're going to get into that. But I also want to get into a lot of roster moves this team may have to make moving forward because it's not all pretty. Right now, this team is a complete mess for the simple fact that ownership allowed Brandon Staley to be the head coach after they lost against the Jacksonville Jaguars a year ago in the NFL playoffs. They have to go out there and hire the right guy this time. They have not had a very good head coach in quite some time. You look at the coaching history, it has been terrible. It has been horrible. You had Brandon Staley. You had Mike McCoy in there. You also had Anthony Lynn. Now, Anthony Lynn was here right before Brandon Staley. And Anthony Lynn wasn't the best head coach either. And Mike McCoy, don't get me started of how bad he was with Phillip Rivers. The Chargers have always been a team that has had a lot of good talent. They just can't capitalize on it. And there's no reason for them to be in this situation. You went from having Phillip Rivers, who was one of the best quarterbacks in the AFC in the last decade, going back, to now having Justin Herbert. This franchise is blessed. Not too many franchises can say that they've had that besides the Green Bay Packers. But you look at Justin Herbert this season, 20 passing touchdowns, 7 interceptions. His season was cut short because he was dealing with a hand injury. They need to fix his offensive line because this is 2 years in a row this kid's been dealing with injuries. Last season, his ribs were barbecue for the simple fact that this offensive line can't block anyone. And I understand health has played a huge part into that, but they need to invest into this offensive line very heavily. They really need to help out Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's proven before he could throw wide receivers open and he can get those guys open as well. He can get the best out of these wide receivers. Now, this was not Justin Herbert's best season because I go back to that Dallas Cowboys game. He missed a lot of passes to wide open receivers like Keenan Allen. When guys were just wide open and Austin Eckler was wide open and flat, he missed. So he wasn't perfect this season, but he's definitely not their biggest problem. And he is for sure their franchise quarterback. And I look at Austin Eckler, solid running back, but he's not a true bell cow running back that you want in today's NFL. You need a guy that can come in and that you can get the football to 20, 25 times a game without him decreasing as the game goes on. I put him in the same category as guys like Tony Pollard. Not bad running backs, but they're not going to be able to go out there and get you those 2 to 3 yards when you need the most when they're stacking the box, when it's a 3rd and 3 or when it's a 3rd and 2. And you don't want to run quarterback sneak every time to put your quarterback in a compromised situation. They have to go out there and find a counterpart to Austin Eckler because Austin Eckler is a very good receiving back for his team, and he's very good with his sideline speed as well. Very good running back. I like him, but they need to get a counterpart to him that could take a lot of the blows that he just can't take right now in the NFL. We've seen Austin Eckler for a long time in the NFL now. He will never be that running back because he's not big enough. That's just it. You need to get a running back that's in there that's 225 pounds and that could take that beating, similar to guys like Ezekiel Elliott or Derrick Henry. You also look at the wide receivers. Now, Keenan Allen say he wants to stay with this team, and he's coming off a very strong season, 1,243 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns. The problem is with Keenan Allen is health. That's it. When he's healthy, he's one of the best route runners in the game. But that's the only thing with him. And the last couple of games of the season, guess what? He missed them because he wasn't fully healthy. And the same with Mike Williams. Mike Williams rarely played any games this season due to a torn ACL they suffered early in the season. Only 249 receiving yards and 1 receiving touchdown. When they're fully healthy, they're the best. They're one of the best wide receiving duos in the NFL. The problem is health. That's why I hated when they drafted Quentin Johnson in the first round. They wanted to go get a guy that had nothing but speed out there. He did finish the season with 431 receiving yards and 2 receiving touchdowns, but he had a lot of major drops this season. And that's a guy that I think that can develop and can become a very nice wide receiver with this team. But obviously they had plans on him stepping in and replacing Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen said before, saying Mike Williams, that they want to stay on this roster no matter what. The interesting thing with Mike Williams, he's still young enough. You move off him, he's going to play for any other team that offers value for him. The thing is with Keenan Allen, he already come out and said this, and this is per ESPN. He said that he's willing to go to a certain contender or certain contenders around the NFL. If not, if he can't stay with the Chargers, he's done. And it makes sense. The man has his family in California. I think that's one thing that we all forget sometimes, that these players have to relocate to the new team's city, the new team's state. He doesn't want to do that. He said he'll just sit out and he'll just say, you know what? It was a nice career. I'm done. If he can't go to the team that he wants to go to, and if he can't stay with the Chargers, he's out of here. I think you keep Keenan Allen around. And there was a lot of questions about keeping Keenan Allen around from last offseason as well, for the simple fact that the cap was horrible with this team, but he took a pay cut. Keep Keenan Allen around. I think that he has a very good rapport with Justin Herbert on and off the field. The offensive line needs a lot of work. I've said that before. When they're fully healthy, they're solid, but they still need an extra push up front. I like the tight end slot as well. Kellen Moore was a solid offensive coordinator. He was just better than Coach Lombardi. In the ideal world, when Shane Steichen was the offensive coordinator with this team in 2020, they would have hired him to be the head coach. Who thought of that idea? I'm not going to say any names, but it's the guy speaking right now. You should have hired him to become the head coach of this team because he had a great rapport with Justin Herbert, and that was Justin Herbert's best season of his career when he was the offensive coordinator and the quarterback's coach with this team. You should have went in and hired him then. I think that they are going to take a lot of consideration of bringing in Mike Vrabel. He just got fired by the Tennessee Titans. You have a very strong defense in terms of talent. He can get those guys together because your past defense was horrible with Brandon Staley. A lot of that was because of the way that Brandon Staley was misusing these players, and his situational football was terrible. Mike Vrabel is a very good head coach, had a lot of good years with the Tennessee Titans, and there's also Jim Harbaugh as well, the quarterback, the head coach from Michigan. He just won a national championship yesterday as I record this video. And there's a lot of speculation that he's going to be on his way back to the NFL. Maybe the Chargers want to go that route. But I would love to see them go with Mike Vrabel because if I know anything about this organization, I know anything about this ownership, they want full control and they just want the coach to go out there and coach. That's pretty much it. They want the coach to go out there, coach and do his job, and they want the general manager to go out there and do his job as well. Jim Harbaugh wants complete control. He wants to be the coach. He wants to be the general manager. He wants to have his thumbprint on every single thing. He wants to be able to go out there and control the roster, control what's going on behind the scenes. He wants complete control, basically like how he is in college right now. And that's the situation that he was dealing with when he was in San Francisco. They got tired of that. And he said, you know what? I'm going to go off to college. But you have very good players on this defense. You look at Khalil Mack, very good season yet again, 17 sacks on the season, 5 forced fumbles. Joey Bosa, man, they're going to have to make a major decision on this kid. Phenomenal when he's on the field, but he rarely plays the last couple of seasons because of injuries. He has a neck injury, hamstring injury, hand injury, just can't stay healthy. 6.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. And he has a contract with this team. They can trade and move off him, but health is going to be something with this kid no matter what. It's been like that since his junior year in the league. It's going to be like that forever with him, in my opinion. But you have Khalil Mack, who is awesome as well. I also look at other players on this team. Derwin James and I have the best season this season, but he's an elite tackling safety and he's a hard hitter. In coverage, he needs a lot of work. You know, a couple years ago, he was a very good cover safety. Right now, not so much. And a lot of that is because of the way that Brandon Staley was using him. But you have good players on this defense. Asante Samuel Jr., very good in the secondary. Michael Davis is one of the horrible starting corners in the NFL. I'll leave it at that. He's terrible. He did play better in the last 3 games, but he's a terrible starting corner in the NFL. He is best when he's your number 3 to number 4 corner. That's it. If he's your top 2 corner, you're in some trouble. And this team would have to depend on this kid if J.C. Jackson was to pan out. And that was another horrible decision with this team as well. J.C. Jackson was so bad, they traded him back to the Patriots in just the second year of that deal. And he was so bad with the Patriots this season, they just basically had him as inactive for the rest of the season. His career is done. And that was a Brandon Staley guy. That's who Brandon Staley wanted to go get to fit his system. They're going to have to go out there and hire the right coach and fix his roster as well because the cap is going to eventually hit this team. Justin Herbert did not take pennies on the dollar. Justin Herbert's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL. Joey Bosa is getting paid a lot of money. Same with Khalil Mack. You just restructured Keenan Allen's deal. You have a lot of players getting paid right now. Austin Eckler, not so much because he is a running back, and you guys know how I feel about that position. Pretty much at that position is very expendable. You can get a guy at the NFL draft and just get him going immediately, especially with Justin Herbert. But I'm sick and tired of seeing the Los Angeles Chargers be in this situation. And it pisses me off because they have elite talent. You're not going to have Keenan Allen forever. You're not going to have Justin Herbert playing at this high level forever, even though he is a young kid. And find him the right offensive coordinator. Because even with Kellen Moore, the offense was still very weird. In the red zone, it did get better. But this is a guy that has a rocket arm. Go out there and draft a wide receiver with some speed and let him rip it down the field. That's why I wanted them to draft Zay Flowers so bad in the first round instead of Quentin Johnson. And Quentin Johnson did play better down the stretch. I would give him his credit for that. But if this team would have had Zay Flowers in the slot with Keenan Allen, and then you have Mike Williams, man, getting a wide receiver in free agency still may be a thing this team should look at if he has top-end speed to go help out Justin Herbert deep down the field, while guys like Keenan Allen can kill you with the intermediate routes, and the same with Mike Williams as well. But regardless, right now, this team is a mess. And it starts with their ownership. One of the worst owners in the NFL. I still do not understand why this team moved from San Diego to Los Angeles. Los Angeles has a beautiful stadium, by the way. I love SoFi Stadium. To me, one of the best stadiums in the NFL, one of the best stadiums in all the sports. I still don't understand why that move was made. You had a big fan base down there in San Diego, and Los Angeles, not so much. It seems like every time they play at home, it's an away game. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you feel about the Los Angeles Chargers and what moves should this team make? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.